Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Peak Performance brought to you by Pinnacle After Sales, or Pinnacle Appliance Support, excuse me. My name is Mike.
And my name's Shiloh.
So we're here today with some ASKO products. Today we have two of ASKO washer and dryer. This is the Style machine. This is one of the top of the cream of the crop. We got Classic, Logic, Style. So this is the Style machine. It has a full electronic control board on the front there. The UI is color. Shiloh, you want to get into some programs and features on it?
Yeah, let me go ahead and turn this dryer on. So as it powers up, we're gonna see pretty quickly that we're gonna get all of our programs that are available. If I go ahead and turn my dial all the way to the left, I'm gonna see my auto extra, my auto normal, auto iron, and we can't explain more on these specific programs, but I'm gonna go into what most of our homeowners use. So as I start to
Hang on, let me chat about you for a second. On those auto cycles, what does auto mean?
So auto is going to automatically use a sensor on the back of the drum to detect continuity, which is just a basic way of saying if the clothes are wet, and it's going to allow the unit to keep running until the continuity is broke or until your clothes are dry.
Oh, so like all the beginning of those cycles are all auto cycles.
Correct. It is going to be all auto up here, and that as you get further in, you're going to find Quick Pro, Time Program. These are your time programs. You're going to run these for an hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and they won't stop until the time is complete.
And there's the Quick Pro. That's the one that everybody talks about. They want a short, really hot, fast cycle that does a decent job drying.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite as well. And as you go into any program, you'll see a couple of other options where you can select extra dry, a gentle dry. Maybe you're looking to get just a couple of things quickly fluffed before you head into your important interview or meeting. So you have those options available as well. And one here, the delayed start. So let's say you're going to be home in about 6 hours. You can start that delayed start for 6 hours and you'll be coming home to a fresh, hot load of laundry that you can fold and put away.
Perfect. Yeah, and I love how you can change all those different options on there. You can do that to almost every program on there. One of my other favorites is when you go to the settings, you can actually change some things in here too, like favorites. This is where you're going to favorite programs. So there's so many cycles on this machine, so many programs that sometimes customers don't want to scroll through 10, 15 programs just to find the one they want, or scroll through 5 different auto programs just to get to the one that they want. You can hide all of them and actually favorite a couple of those programs. So those are the only ones the customer will see in their normal programming. You can also do a couple different things like change the contrast of the display, change the buzzer volume, some other things inside of there.
So go ahead and take myself out here. And you'll see that we're using the buttons as well as the dial, so you can use both features for navigating through your control. And it is that linear style design, always work from left to right.
Great point. Just like we read. So just like you start the washer and dryer, start from left to right. So you power on the machine, you cycle through your programs, you choose your options, and then you hit start. Left to right. Very easy. And all of these cycles and different options, they have different symbols on here. And I know that you guys are a little bit far away and you can't really see, but even on like the classic machines, they have these symbols. And that's kind of something the customers may need to look at their manual for to see, because it won't say load, it will just show a symbol. And they may not understand what that symbol means. They might call for service because they don't think they don't understand what it means, or they may not think that it's a symbol or a program that they can add to. They may think it's an error or something that they're unaware of. So just be mindful, it doesn't say the actual verbiage there, it'll just show you the symbol.
Perfect, good job here with all of this. So we could go through all of the programs here, but again, Quick Pro being that most important. And then there's also a service mode on each unit. I'm going to go ahead and let Mike show you the button presses for that, but you actually have to start with your unit powered off.
Correct. So once the machine is completely powered down, you're going to push and hold these right 2 buttons. Once you push and hold these right 2, power it on. Continue to hold these right 2 buttons. The machine's going to power up. You'll see your light up. And then you can let go of those 2 buttons. So we've got tracking data readout, failure readout, diagnostics, and then there's some other things that we can scroll through. This is going to be the same for the washer and the dryer. So you hold the right 2 buttons, push the power button, keep holding those right 2 buttons. Once the screen lights up, then you can let go. You can navigate yourself through the actual programs and service mode.
Perfect. And you can exit with the final option. This will, once you are exiting, well, maybe I cannot exit actually. you win. So it is going to be your play pause to go ahead and select your options, but it does bring you right back to the unit being on. You can also power it off, power it back on to get out of the service mode as well.
Yeah, diagnostics is a great tool. It's almost a must. If you don't go into diagnostics on one of these machines, there's really, really didn't diagnose it correctly, because you can isolate so many components of this machine to where you're going to be one-to-one with that component. Even go to electronics, pull your meter out, and check your meter voltage to that component. So there's a lot of testing that can be done just from the front here, just by touching some buttons. It's a great tool. So let's move over to the washer for a second. There's a couple cool things about this one that I wanted to show you guys. So again, this is the style machine. We got classic, logic, style. So this is going to be like the Denali version of, you know, the top of cream of the crop of washing machines. So here's our dispenser drawer. If you pull this dispenser drawer out, you'll see a couple different things. We've got tank A and tank B right here. This is where you're going to fill your auto dose tanks. So inside the cabinet here, you've got two tanks. Both are about a half a gallon each. So once you go in here, you can scroll through the options and fill your auto dose tanks. Once you fill your auto dose tanks, there's read switches on your dispenser here. So it'll say open your dispenser. Once you open your dispenser, it'll say fill tank A. You open tank A and you fill this up, and then once you're done, you close tank A and it'll say shut drawer. Same idea. It'll open, and then you say fill tank B, open drawer. And then you open this tank B, you go ahead and fill that up, it'll fill up tank B. They're both designed for detergent. One is not designed for fabric softener. Overseas in Europe, they use both they use for dark and light laundry, two different style of detergents. So here in the States, you can say one maybe for allergy or two different scents, but one is not for fabric softener. So that's auto dose. There's one more thing on the back of this. You can see a little tool here. There's a piece of metal sticking up. If you pull this piece of metal up, it almost looks like one of those pieces that you put in your shirt to keep your shirt tag nice and tight, nice and pretty, but you can actually use this for a couple different things. You can push it right here and open up your door for the customer's drain pump. If you ever have a unit that's full of water, you hear something ticking around inside the drain pump and you want to get in there, this would be great access. Instead of using a flathead screwdriver, you might damage the machine, put some marks on here. Use the tool that comes with it, pop it open, show your customer about this. They might not know about this, and if they don't, you show them something cool and new, they love that kind of stuff. Hey, now I don't have to grab a tool, it's already here. I can just go ahead and pop this open, let my water drain into a little pan, and then I can clean out my drain pump. They love that stuff. That's general customer maintenance. This is stuff that the customer should be doing. One more thing you can use this tool for. If you look to the right, I know it's a little far away, but there's a little slot right here. This is where you would unlock this door. So if the door was locked, which it currently is, if you push this button, you can actually open it and unlock the door. So it's a cool feature to where you can open that door even though it's locked. When it's locked, it means there's water. So be careful. If there's water in there, you don't want to open it if you don't see any, because you probably have clothes, and if you open it, you could have a nice little mess on your hands. So just be careful. Another cool thing about the washing machine is the paddles. If you do need to replace them, you grab a hold of the paddle and you just pull forward towards you. They unlock. You push the new one in. You push it to the rear. It locks right in place. Very simple repair.
And if I back up really quick, Mike, to this auto door unlock, as he said, if the door is locked, there's water on the drum. So it's important to make sure that you're coming down here with this gray hose and you can empty that water out beforehand as well. Just another safety feature.
Yeah, this is a small hose. You can pop this off here, put it into a little pan, and it'll drain out pretty slowly. What I would do as a technician, I would bring a shop vac in with me, and I would put my hose right here. We've got a little lip. So I'd put my hose right there, and I would start opening this a little bit until I started to see some water drip out, and I would turn my vacuum on, and then I'd slowly crack this open further and further and further until I've just sucking water directly into my vacuum. No water onto the floor whatsoever. And then you can pull your whole trough out, clean out whatever's inside of there, all the debris, put it all back together. Completed service call. Happy customer.
And as a homeowner, if you do misplace your emergency key, you can order a new one at pinnacleapplianceparts.com.
That's a good point. PinnacleApplianceParts.com is a great resource. There's a lot of documentation on there as well. You can find some technical docs for Fulgor Milano and ASKO on there. If you guys have questions about them and you can't find any information, pop on that website and click around. You'll be able to find exactly what you're looking for. Or you can always call us in tech support. What's the tech support phone number off the top of your head?
844-747-7787.
And then our actual direct to a technician is going to be 877-383-7787. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Peak Performance.
Before we jump off, let's go over those shipping bolts for the washer.
That's what everybody forgets, and that's why we did that on purpose. So, on the back side of this washing machine, you have 3 shipping bolts. If you do not have movement to this tub like this, your shipping bolts are still in place. It is a must. There's 3 shipping bolts. When customers call us and let us know that their machine is walking across the floor,
rotate for you.
Let's go ahead and rotate this. So, here's the washing machine. You have 1 shipping bolt here, 1 here, and 1 here. There's 3 of them. So customers will call and say, the machine's walking across my floor. We ask them, how many shipping bolts did you remove? And then they say, well, we removed all of the shipping bolts. Let's ask a specific question. Let's ask them how many they removed, because we know specifically 3. If they don't give us a good answer and they say, well, I removed all of them, we might be able to assume that maybe they didn't remove any, and we might want to run out there and just double check that, because if they knew how many they took out, they would tell you the exact number, which should be 3. So that's a great point, because a lot of times customers, technicians, people will think that it has a bad bearing, and it's just stuck in place. The machine has nowhere to move, the drum has nowhere to move, and of course it's going to make some noise. So always be mindful, shipping bolts are a must. Keep them, give them to the customer once you remove them, because if the customer moves, they would want to reinstall them if they want to move the washing machine, just to keep that drum sturdy. It's just one of those things that's pretty standard on washing machines, but still gets forgotten about.
Perfect. And those do not exist on the dryer. So just the washer has those shipping bolts. But Mike, what can you tell me about the voltage needed for the washer and what my options are?
So you have a couple different options with this one, actually. The washing machine is designed to be 240 volts. That's unlike most American machines, which are 120 volts. So what happens here is the washing machine cord looks slightly different than your typical washing machine cord, to where you'd have 2 vertical prongs and you would have 1 ground. So this one has 1 sideways prong, horizontal, 1 vertical prong. You can actually plug this into the dryer right here. So on the side of the dryer, you have a junction box where you would plug in your washing machine. Once you plug in your washing machine, now you have voltage from the washing machine through the dryer cord, through the outlet into the wall. If the customer wants to install the washing machine on its own dedicated circuit, they're going to need their own dedicated 240 volt line ran from the breaker box to behind the washing machine with the exact plug receptacle for this machine. Pull it up. And that way this can plug directly into the wall. They cannot change this cord, and it needs to be 240 volts. Easiest way around it, plug it directly into the dryer. That way you have 1 normal 240 volt for your dryer, plug the washer into that. Another key tip, since we're back here, you have 2 fuses. They're 15 amp fuses right here, one on L1, one on L2. You can kind of peek underneath there and see them. You've got a little slot, you can put your fingernail or maybe a flathead screwdriver and pop them out. If your dryer has power when you turn it on, but your washer does not, there's a good chance one of those fuses might be bad. So that might be the first place that I would go, just to double check your fuse's incoming power without taking anything apart. Some of their external. One more quick tip. So when I brought my ASKOs home, I'll admit this, because I'm that kind of guy, I broke my fill valve. You know how I did it? Because the PEX water line that comes with this machine is so rigid, I attached it to my water line, or my valve on my machine first, which is plastic, and then to my wall. And as I was manipulating the hose, I ended up cracking this and breaking it. So, little tip of the trade, might want to connect it to the wall side first, then manipulate that PEX hose to your washing machine and to your fill valve there. Another thing, you will see 2 fill valves here. This is a style machine. This is the only machine that has hot and cold. Classic and Logic only have a cold valve only. They do not have hot. If the customer has a style machine and they only have 1 supply, you can actually go into the settings and turn off the hot valve.
That's an awesome tip. All of them do have a built-in heater, so that's why you will find that the Classic and Logic only have 1 fill.
And that's why they're able to heat the water up so quickly, being 240 volts. So they're great machines, well built, good quality, and great service.
Perfect. Reach out to us with any of your questions or concerns, again, at pinnacleapplianceparts.com for any parts necessities, or 844-787-7787.
Thanks again for joining us. Another Peak Performance. Have a great one.
Take care, guys.